friends, and welcome to the Legacy Leadership Show with Adrian and my dear old dad, Tom Chenault, and our buddy, Jennie Bellinger. This is going to be such a fun conversation. We knew we needed to do this, and we get to do it for St. Patrick's Day, which is a ton of fun. So happy St. Patrick's Day, Jennie. How are you doing?
I am doing wonderfully. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too.
Yeah, this is awesome. I was telling Jennie I had to wear green trousers because I knew I was going to be on a green screen, but I didn't want my kids to pinch me. And they saw me. I went up and woke them up, and they said, "You're not wearing green. I'm going to pinch you." And then I showed them my pants, and so I made it through. So,
of course. Well, that's the fun part of the day, right?
Oh, that's right. You gotta pay attention to these things when you have kids. So we're gonna have a fun conversation today. And just to introduce Jennie a little bit, Jennie came into our lives through one of our contact mapping clients over a year ago now. And she just said, "Oh my gosh, I have the best coach in the world. I love her. You are going to love her. You got to meet her." And she connected us to Jennie. And Jennie has just become a fixture of our contact mapping tribe and somebody who I admire greatly. We've gotten to do some fun stuff with her, and she's a doll, isn't she, Dad?
I just love the woman. It's unbelievable who she knows, what she does, and she does it so seamlessly you don't even realize it's happened. And that is the perfect connector. Somebody that can do it consciously and unconsciously. It's just amazing to me.
It is really, really cool. So, Jennie, I want to introduce our audience to you properly because you have a really neat story. And so I just would love for you to talk about, how you got to where you are today, but to kind of go through your history of, even before getting into the network marketing profession and then how you got going in that world.
Absolutely. Well, my network marketing story started like a lot of people, which is I was working a full-time teaching job and got pregnant with my oldest and decided I didn't want to work and be mom at the same time. So I took some time off and thinking, well, it's education. I'm a teacher. I can go back and teach anytime. Wrong. Because then the recession of 2008 to 2012 happened, and I was looking to try and get back into teaching in 2010, and it just wasn't happening. I went through, probably 18 to 20 rejections from various schools in the St. Louis area, and as much as they wanted to hire me, they couldn't afford me because they didn't have money for a teacher with experience. So I said, okay, universe, if you're not going to put me back in the classroom, what's next? What is it? And 2 days later, in my mailbox was an invitation to a direct sales jewelry fashion show. And I thought to myself, well, that's an interesting answer to my query.
Universe, you sure about that?
Okay, I'm going to call your bluff. And I went to that fashion show and walked out with a business. And 7 years later, I earned 9 trips, multiple cars, cash bonuses with commas in them. My team hit number 1 in the world for group growth, number 3 in the world for group sales. And I absolutely fell in love with the direct sales and network marketing model and decided that I wanted to help more people. I needed to reach more people, and coaching was really the way to go and do that because the word spread within my own company, then it spread to other companies, and it just was snowballing anyway. So I just went ahead and followed what the universe was telling me. Wow. And so that's my in a nutshell story.
So I want you to talk about, because you've been, how old were the kids when you got into the network marketing profession?
My oldest was 2, and then I had my second child during my direct sales career. So I had her in 2012. So I was in the process of growing a business and raising 2 very young children at the time. With me and my now husband. And so we were doing that together. And
I know, I love that.
I love that.
we get along great. We're great co-parents, just not matched maritally. So we still co-parent together. But so my kids were really young. So I was going through what a lot of the parents in network marketing and direct sales deal with, which is the whole, how do I make time for my family and still get business done at the same time? So there was a lot of that juggling going on very early in that part of my career.
So what is it that you love most about the life that you got right now versus you were extremely successful back before? You're extremely successful now, but you're one heck of a lot happier. What's that look like to you? And how can you give that away to other people where you couldn't do it as a teacher?
What I love about this is I truly have the freedom to do what I want to when I need to. Last week, and Adrian knows this because he follows me on Facebook. I think you probably know this too. Last week, my kids came down with COVID, and I was able to take time off from my business. My clients totally understood, and I had no guilt around it. The freedom factor is, for me, a really big deal. But that's the personal piece. In terms of the business piece, what I love most about what I'm doing really is the effects that I'm seeing on my clients, what's happening with them, because they're not just growing in their business, they're growing in their relationship with their spouse or their significant other. They are having better relationships with their children because they're learning better communication skills. They are achieving the dreams that they dreamed of when they signed up for their business. And that to me is, I pop a bottle of champagne for them just as much as I would for myself in those situations. Like I celebrate that just as much for them as I would for my own success.
That's so huge. And talk a little bit more about what it is like raising kids in the network marketing profession and now as a coach, in terms of that ability. Obviously it's fantastic to have the flexibility that you need to have when something unexpected comes up, like unfortunately COVID, but even just from the perspective of being in their lives in a bigger way, has that just been an incredible thing for you as a mom to be able to create a successful business and not have to give up spending that time and pouring into your kids' lives?
Yeah, my kids have never known me as a quote unquote working mom, right? As the quote unquote traditional working mom. They've always known me as someone who has a business that I ran from home. They know that they can come to me anytime. Although for things like this, they know the rule is do not come downstairs unless there's blood, flood, fire, or imminent death. And yes, as what my now 9-year-old, that whole thing started 4 years ago when my coaching business really started taking off. And yes, my then 5-year-old could define imminent death means someone's going to die.
Blood, flood, fire, or imminent death. That's going to become part of my parenting playbook. I like that.
Oh, please do take it, because that was gifted to me by another network marketing mom who had a sign on her home office door that said, is it bleeding? Is there fire? Is there like flooding happening? Is someone going to die? If the answer is no, it can wait till I open the door. And so I did the same thing, created the same sign, because I've been able to bring my kids up to be independent enough, but then also still, when they want me or need me, they can come to me and I'm here. And yeah. I absolutely love that. And they're getting to see me as a role model who they get to see all the work that I do, because it's done right here at home. It's not like other parents who, non-networking parents or parents who don't work from home, although that's certainly much happening a lot more now than it ever was before. But those parents go off to work. And so kids, they don't see what their parents are doing. They have no idea what that looks like, what that is. And my kids know exactly what that looks like for me. It means meeting with people on Zoom, networking through Zoom, doing podcast interviews. They get to see all that fun stuff happening right here. And sometimes they're even sitting right here, this empty spot at my desk is so my 9-year-old can sit on the other side and do her homework when she gets home at the end of the day. And then we do work together at the end of the day. So it's so much more fun.
Well, your kids get us, every day is take your parents to work day, and every day is take your kids to work day. And, for me, with these kids growing up, they wouldn't take money from me. I mean, none of them, 3 children, none of them ever take money from me to this day. Even though they knew I had a ton, they remember when I had none. and they learned the value of a dollar. They saw phones getting turned off because of non-payment. They saw cars getting repossessed. And instead of this magical money that just shows up when dad comes home from work, they saw the highs, they saw the lows, and they saw that it's life. And I think it made them better. And I think that in your coaching business, you having that perspective is the most important perspective that you can have in your coaching, because these people that are thinking about bringing you on, they're in that same pond and they have no idea how to respond or react to it. And having a resource like you that's been through it, came out the other side successful, is worth its weight in gold. Don't you agree, Pac?
I completely agree. And it is like, I think really the bigger thing, it was a different time, you know, because I grew up watching him do his thing. It was a different time. And I don't think that I totally, as a kid, understood that the difference of what it otherwise would have been like if he was going off to work every day. And so I don't know that I think I missed that part a little bit, if I'm honest. But what I for sure did not miss was that I got to see what it takes to create something. I got to see what is work, like what does it actually really mean to work? What does it actually really mean to show up for people? How do you talk to people? How do you have a hard conversation? How do you sell something to some, you know, all this stuff. And I joke that I have like a passenger seat MBA in sales from to my dad in the car growing up on, you know, like it was incredible. And so I think there's such a value in that, having a front row seat and watching your mom or dad be that role model to you.
But having me on the phone during dinner was hell. I mean, he hated it. And the kids hated it. And they always wanted me to not be on the phone. And I'm looking at him going, at least I'm not at work. So he graduated from college and goes out in the big ride world. He found out what hell really looks like, and he came back to heaven.
And don't you forget
don't
it, young
you
man.
ever forget it, young man. Yeah,
that's exactly.
True story, though.
That is, it's a remarkable thing. And I think, you know, to now as a coach, be able to enable other women and men to achieve that same thing is something that I can see how rewarding that is for you, Jennie, and something that's really cool. And so in just about 30 seconds here, we're going to take our first break. But this is just an amazing human being. I love Jennie Bellinger. I love what she's all about. And so on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about coaching. We're going to talk about her incredible podcast and its very funny name and where that comes from as well. And it's going to be fun. So you are listening to the Legacy Leadership Show. This is a great bonus episode conversation with our friend Jennie Bellinger. Thank you so much to Genesis Communication Network for putting us on the air all these years. We love you, and we're coming back right after this. Boom.
Tapped it hard. All right, good.
There wasn't time for another question, so I had to kind of go in a circle to build the time to get there. But we are all good. So this is just a 30-second break to reset for commercial, and then we'll come back here to the show in just a second. But this is awesome. You're great.
Oh, I'm loving it. Thank you so much.
Lisa, good to see you. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Sean. Hi, Dale. Hi, Paul. Hi, Sean. I think I already said hello, Michelle. Hi, J. Michael. We love you guys. Coming back.
And we're back. It is the Leadership Legacy radio show with Adrian Chenault and the beautiful Jennie Bellinger and me, Tom Chenault. And we're talking to an amazing woman. And he said we're going to talk about her coaching. He said we're going to talk about everything she's doing. But you didn't. Is she doing a summit?
She is, but I want to talk about that in a minute. So
there's
jump in the gun.
Okay, so there's one coming. I just didn't want to make the poor girl feel bad.
Well, thank you. You're so sweet.
I'm a doll.
So, Jennie, talk about. I want to talk about your podcast for a minute, because you have really turned that into, number one, an incredible success. So congratulations. Like you posted the other day, you got to share
100
unbelievable results and just reach that you're creating from this. But it seems to me like you've also really turned it into a platform that has allowed you to connect with some amazing people too. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. And really the reason I started the podcast was I recognize that the reason that people get into direct sales and network marketing is because they're looking for another stream of income. So they're all going into it wanting to make more money or needing to make more money. And they don't always think about the fact that, hey, I don't know what I'm getting myself into here with this sales and leadership thing, right? And
Right.
so they don't plan, budget for, think about, and heck, direct sales coaches didn't even exist until a few years ago. Your direct sales coach was your upline, and people were really at the mercy of who happened to bring them into the business and who they had access to back in the day. But nowadays it's open. There's so many more options that are out there. And so I created the podcast because I wanted a free option for people in direct sales and network marketing to have the ability to get access to the amazing people in my network who helped me build and grow my business. I wanted to give them information. I wanted to be able to share my learnings that I learned in the 7 years that I was super active in my business, and shorten their learning curve and give them that opportunity. And so that's where the podcast idea came from, was getting started there. The premise for it was really just to provide value for the entire network.
That is so cool. And I threw his name up there, but John Abkemeyer is on here. He's watching. He is a stud, and he is in your hometown. So John,
No way.
Whoa, drop the mic.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. So he's in your town. He's a really, really great guy. He's super plugged in the profession. He's the creator of something called Working Live, which is a really cool platform that has Zoom and a whole bunch of other stuff at an insane price that a lot of network marketers are using. So the two of you guys need to connect. But this is the thing, right? It's like, this is how these things happen, is that we create these connection points, and having a way to go about doing that, having a platform, is such an important way to be able to make that happen, right?
Oh yeah, it's having the podcast has amazingly, something that I didn't know was going to happen from it, opened doors that I didn't know existed. Let alone that I'd ever have had the guts to go up and knock on, if that makes sense. The people that I can now reach out to and have reached out to and have said yes to being on the show, people like you, people like Jordan Adler has been on my show. The CEO of Pure Romance, Chris Ciccinelli, has been on my show. I've had the CEO of Dig Direct, which is a Dog is Good, a direct sales company out of California. People that I didn't even think would ever want to be on my show, all of a sudden are there. And when I ask, they go, yeah, that's awesome. Please, when? I'm flabbergasted still to this day when people say yes.
Yeah. Isn't that awesome? So cool. And I love that statement. It opened doors that I didn't know existed. I think that's like one of the most powerful encapsulations of what it means to truly be a networker as well, right? It's this idea that, like, I don't even it wasn't that I wasn't in the right room. It's that I would never even known that room was there. And all of a sudden, through the power of adding value, being able to contribute back to someone into something because of having a platform. I mean, that's really what has made this show so great. That's what's made this has been a huge part of what launched your career, right?
All you do. And what she's done really well, she started that as a really, really small statue on a giant pedestal. And she started grabbing big statues like Jordan Adler and those various people. And as she has done that, her statue has grown. So now, instead of, holy cow, Jennie had Jordan on the show, now it's Jordan and Jennie were on the show, because she's equally as big as he is because of the size of her podcast today. And that's the key to this deal right here, is promoting yourself, because nobody's going to do it by making other people look better and bigger than you. And it works every time. We're going to take a little break. This is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. Thank you so much, Ted Anderson, for taking us on all these years. We'll be back right after this.
All right. Good job.
Thank you, my son.
And that is so true. All right. Let's talk Summit after we come back from this break. So we're coming back at the top of the minute here. Alexandra Pena is here. Alexandra Pena, who had a birthday yesterday. So happy birthday, Alex. We love you. Thanks for being here. And you and John really do connect. So John, make sure you track down Jennie on Facebook, and you guys need to go have a cup of coffee. You'll love John.
That's my name. That's my name on Facebook, John. Okay, find me. I promise I'll accept your friend request.
We met him, and he sat with us the whole about 5 days of just absolute grinding. And John was on our lap the whole time. We love him.
He's the best. All right, we blew through our break, so we're gonna wait another 20 seconds.
Why'd you do that?
We're good. It don't matter. We're gonna add 30 seconds to the clock, Andrew. Sorry, Mr. Producer. Don't get mad. All right.
We're paying him by the minute.
There we go. It's like the Dickensian model of radio. All right. Here you go.
And we're back. It's Tom Chenault. It's Adrian Chenault. It is the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. And today we have got Jennie Bellinger. It's a special edition because she is special. And having her on here is like a highlight. And I'm going out of town next week. And Adrian was not going to, I wanted to put her on afterward. And Adrian said, no, Dad. You have no idea how many people want to hear her message. We've got to do it now. And this is the first time we've ever done this. And we're very, very honored to have you be our first special edition guest. And it's cool.
It is cool. And there's an extra reason why we wanted to make sure we did it now. And we're going to talk about that now, which is that Jennie is putting together just an incredible summit that is coming up. It starts a week from today, right?
Yeah, it's a week from today, and it is a virtual summit, and it's called the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Summit. And we have amazing speakers from literally all over the world who are going to come on and teach people about all the big questions I get from my clients. I then go out and I look for people who are experts in those areas, because I realize if my clients are asking me that, then my guess is they are pretty representative of a huge portion of the direct sales and network marketing community. So I've got people coming on to talk about TikTok, using video for your business, diversity in business. We've got people coming on to talk about sales, how to do a virtual party the right way so that you actually get sales and team members and not like push people away. And the one I'm most excited about is Jack Canfield is going to be on the summit.
No, that's pretty
a huge one. Holy smokes.
I know.
All right. So actually let's go. We got to talk about that for a second. So how did that happen? Right? That's an important story, right? That's a good illustration of what we're talking about.
I got Jack Canfield because I did what Jack Canfield told me to do, which is, if you have read the book, The Success Principles, have you read that book? Please tell me you've read that book.
Both of us have.
Okay, good. So principle number 17, ask, ask, ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. And so I wanted Jack Canfield. So I asked Jack Canfield if he would be on my summit. And the first time I asked him, he said no. He said no. And I was not surprised, but I said, but it's because he was already booked for those 3 days. And so I said, okay, well, could we pre-record for the summit? And he said, oh, yeah, that would work. And so I got to talk to Jack Canfield. I'm so excited. It's like a 6-year-old who got to talk to Santa Claus. I'm telling you. Oh, I love him. So, and for people who don't know who Jack Canfield is, he's the author of The Success Principles. He's best known for being the co-author for Chicken Soup for the Soul books, all of that. So he's been a part of The Secret book and The Secret movie. So people who've seen those or read those, he's from all of that. So I'm super excited to share him because he shares an amazing story about what happened to him and his business during COVID and how he actually continued to pay his staff using network marketing.
He's rocking it. I want to read you something, you guys, because it's kind of funny. On Sunday, March 8th, I sent this text. Good morning. Still trying to get hold of Jack Canfield to come on the show. The assistant didn't work out. I think she's stretched pretty thin. That was to my connection. This guy wrote back, Lisa runs Jack. She was my best employee for 20 years. Tell her I told you to call Mark Victor Hansen. So So Mark Victor Hansen's my connection, but I have a feeling the reason I'm telling you this story is I think you might be a better connection than Mark Victor Hansen. No offense, Mark, but so I want to. I got it. Yeah. So
I'll do what I can. I'll send him an email, but I don't know. Mark might be a better connection.
We got it. There's nothing. You hit the nail on the head. Principle 17. Never stop asking, never stop trying, never stop thinking of a different direction to go. And the most important step number 41 is if you want to catch a mouse, you have to think like a cheese. Think about what Jack Canfield wants and you're going to win it. And that's what we will do. And he will be on our show after he's done with hers. Thank you.
That's the plan.
I love it. So that's amazing. And I'll tell you what, Jack doesn't do a ton of this stuff anymore. Like, those of you who are watching, when was the last time you saw Jack do a live event like that? That's not something that's happening all the time. And so you really, really need to be a part of this event. And if you go to contactmapping.com/Jennie, I'll actually throw that in the chat as well so that you can get to it more easily. But if you go there, you can get your ticket. There's a free ticket, which is great. There is a couple of other tiers that are way, way better and give you access to some incredible perks and some things that you're going to want to have. And so go and be a part of this event. It is going to be very, very worth your time. And not only are all of these huge people going to be there, but our very own Elizabeth Larson, who is so excited about being a part of your event, is going to be one of the speakers as well. She's speaking. She's
that'll be cute as a
heart into it. She's not going to sleep for the next week getting ready because that's how she'll
crush it. She's a nut, man.
She's the best, man.
Yeah,
she's so good. She's so good. I'm so excited that she's going to be there to share her knowledge and experience.
She's coming in person?
No, we're doing it all virtual.
Okay, good. I thought she was coming to St. Louis. Okay, good.
Yeah. But it is so cool. And Shay said, I'm not a mom, but I'd love to learn how to relate to them, which is a great thing to do. But I tell you what, this is not just for moms by any stretch of the imagination. Our buddy Brian Hilliard is going to be speaking at this event. He is so cool. And that's high praise because it's March Madness right now. I don't know if you knew that, Jennie. And he's like a basketball freak. So
I know.
He must think very highly of you to be doing this event during the middle of March Madness.
Let me tell you something about that nut. So Hilliard calls me on the phone and says, who's 4 people that I can interview? So I go, hell, I'll just give you 4 people. So I shot him 4 names. So all 4 people were great people that he wants to interview. And he sent me a text a couple of days ago. I've never had anybody send me 4. I go, what? I'm the only one that took the bait and did what you asked me to do. So it was so adorable. So yeah, I interviewed 4 of my friends. That was really, really cool.
That is so.
Brian Hilliard went to Duke, incredible guy, partner with the guy from BNI, just an amazing guy.
There's his book right there.
Yeah.
She's holding it up. That is so cool.
So
we love that.
We love him.
I keep it right here.
Yeah. Rob Cardenas, if go blue means the Wolverines, I'm very unhappy with you because they just dashed the hopes of the poor Colorado State Rams, knocked them out. So this is just very depressing.
Flip him off.
Get out of here, Rob. So, oh my goodness. But yeah, this event is going to be amazing. I spoke at the last one. I was not asked back. I don't know what the problem.
Well, I will happily have you back.
It's because she totally crushed it.
Yeah, she pushed you out.
But here's the thing, right? So I speak at a ton of events. We both speak at a ton of events, and I always go in and jump in there and engage with an event before speaking, right? I don't just want to like show up and do my thing and leave. That's not how I like to roll. But I've seen a lot of events. I've seen a lot of people who have put these things on, and there's a big difference between the good ones and the not so good ones. And Jennie is a pro, and she is just going to crush it. And is Virginia doing it with you again this time?
Yeah, she is. She's going to be my co-host on Saturday afternoon because her business just took off in 2022. So she's like, I can't do all 3 days. So I said, pick a time, tell me, please. And I wish I could take all the credit for how awesome the summit is. I have an amazing team behind me. Marcel Brown, JD Duncan, Megan Duncan, Sharon Otaguro, and Shabade Jaglal Ramnath. Those 5 people behind me are the reason why this summit, and Virginia and my co-hosts from the past, Michelle Nedelec, they have helped me elevate this so much better than I could have ever done by myself. Because let me tell you, my summit story is the very first one I tried to put on by myself, fell apart the week of. Every speaker, except for one of them, backed out the week of the event. Yeah, every single one of them. It fell apart completely. So if y'all are like, oh man, look at that summit. That's so amazing. She's killing it. Yeah, because I screwed it up the first time trying to do it all by my lonesome. Because I was like, I can do that. I can. And the universe went, oh, you want to bet?
Wow. Oh my God. Yeah. And so actually there's a lesson there, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think a lot of people in your shoes would have said, I'm so embarrassed. The no way in hell I'm ever doing another summit again. How could I? There's a million stories you could have made up about why I can't ever do this again after falling on my face like that. And you didn't do it. And
no,
you
I
came
doubled
back.
Down.
Yeah.
I doubled down. I went, oh yeah, you think I can't do this? Okay. And I went and got myself a team, and I went and asked Jack Canfield, and I, just expanded. And the first one was amazing, and the second one even better. And so I'm so excited to see what's going to happen next week, because if we continue on trend, the third one, if you thought the last one was good, Adrienne, this one's going to be phenomenal. I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, that is super, super exciting. And so everybody knows Jack Canfield. We talked a little bit about Brian. Who's somebody that you're excited to share with us that most people probably have not heard of before that's going to be one of your speakers?
Elizabeth Larson.
Yes, Elizabeth. In addition to Elizabeth, because of course, for people in the contact mapping world, we all know her and love her, but not everybody else does yet. One of my other favorite speakers is Candice Rodarte, who is, she's doing a piece, or her presentation is called Don't Lose the Keys to Your Handcuffs, talking about not handcuffing yourself to limiting beliefs or anything like that. She is hilarious, and she has such a great way of putting it all together. We have Abby Nicole Garrison, who is another direct sales coach out of, interestingly enough, your home state, Colorado, who's going to be presenting, and her presentation is called Wear the Purple Lipstick. So I immediately reached out to her and went, you have to be on my summit, because kind of obsessed with purple here, people. Enough so that I made my hair that color. But Happy's presentation is all about, like, how do you step outside your comfort zone in confidence?
Nice.
That right?
Is super cool.
Because we all hear about step outside your comfort zone, step outside. Yeah. Except we're all terrified, right? Because it's our comfort zone for a reason. And she's teaching how to do it, and do it with confidence and flair and pizzazz and sassiness, which I love. So, because awesome. You have to have all those things if you're going to wear purple lipstick.
That's it. All right. So we got to take one last break. This is such a fun conversation. During the break, make sure you go to contactmapping.com/Jennie with an IE and grab your seat for this event. You do not want to miss it. And make sure you check out those tiers where you get access to some really awesome perks. You don't want to miss it. Coming right back. Oh, wait, I don't need to do that. All right, perfect. We got one last little 30-second reset here. I want to talk about impact to kind of close out the show. So just talking about the impact that you're creating and where your vision is headed in the future. Sound good?
Ooh, yes, I love it.
All right. You guys are so awesome. Shay Irvin, thanks for taking care of Rob for me. He gave the little middle finger emoji. Rob, we love you. It's okay. All right.
And we're back. This is Tom Chenault, Adrienne Chenault, and Jennie Bellinger on the Legacy Leadership Radio Show. And let's go. She has been unbelievable. If you weren't registered for her event, you're nuts. It's that simple. It is affordable. It is unbelievable content. And you will thank us after it's over, right?
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So we're all about legacy, and legacy has nothing to do with anything after you go away. It has everything to do with the larger and larger impact that you are creating in the world. And so, Jennie, I just want to, we talked about how even inside of the summit as sort of this microcosm, right, that you are increasing and elevating the size of your vision. What is the impact as you think about, the whole of your business and the whole of the impact that you're looking to create in the world? What's the thing that really fires you up the most?
It's stories like Charlie. Charlie showed up as an attendee to my very first summit. And when she started, she was struggling in her direct sales business. She was having trouble selling. She wasn't sure if she was even going to stay involved in the business, in the industry. And after the summit, she stayed there. My first summit was 36 hours of speakers. It was 3 days, 12 hours a day. And she was there for all 36 hours, took notes. And a few months later, when she went to her company convention, she ended up walking the stage. So from struggling to walking the stage, and she attributes it to what she learned at the summit and was able to really start implementing the things that she learned immediately in her business. And that, to me, like right now, I'm getting goosebumps all over thinking about how many of the stories like that happened that I didn't even hear about, that because they didn't reach out to me, but Charlie did. She texted me pictures of her on stage and I teared up. I was so excited because when she came to our first summit event, she wouldn't even turn on her camera. She was so shy. She was so nervous, anxious about being on camera. And for her to then text me and show me that here she was walking on stage, that right there, that is why I do this, is for the Charlies of the world, not for the recognition, but for the fact that she moved from being someone who was struggling to getting to the point where she was so successful in her business that she was getting to walk the stage and she had the confidence to do it. That is what matters to me. That's what does it.
That's huge. And that you're exactly right. You're having a huge impact in the world. And each one of those stories is leverage, right? Like that, like Charlie has impacted who knows how many people as a result of that moment, but it's one change at a time that has these huge cascading effects out into the world as they go on to have a huge impact in their companies, in their communities, in their lives, in all these different areas, right?
Yeah, it's that ripple effect that I've been going for with my coaching from day one, because I know that when I work with people, it's not just impacting them and their business, but it's like I said before, it's impacting their relationship with their significant others. It's impacting their relationship with their children. It's impacting their relationship with their extended family, with their friends, with their customers, with their team members, and that's rippling out from each of those people. And that, to me, is the impact I'm looking to have, is to get people from where they are now, where they're struggling, like Charlie was, to get to the point where life is easy, business is easy, where these things come as second nature and it's comfortable and simple for them and not a struggle anymore. That's what I'm looking for, because imagine if everybody in the world had it easy.
Amen.
That's what I'm looking for. Make it easy for everybody. Spread success.
That is super cool. And I'm proud of you. I'm excited for this event. I'm going to be listening in and just can't wait to get to ride along with you and see everything that you're going to do. I'm going to have a big long drive on Saturday. We're driving down to Texas this Saturday and then back next Saturday. So I'll be able to, I'll have some goodness in my earballs as we're driving down the road. So that's going to be super fun.
You're driving both directions? Are you taking the mutt?
Yeah, that's the only reason why.
Oh my
It's
God.
horrible.
Well, they got the
get a puppy, they said. It will be fun, they said.
Get a puppy. All right.
Unbelievable. Very, very cute. So, we love you. And I am convinced that she is a woman that you want to be in the foxhole with, because she touches all the bases and she knows how to show you to make the very difficult easy, the very difficult doable. She's had an experience as a teacher, and she can teach you a business that's not as tough as you're making it, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And a big part of why we love you so much is because you really embody what contact mapping is about, not only in what you show your clients, but you've really modeled it even back to us, like just making incredible introductions, always thinking about how can I use the power of connection to help everybody to win. And that's what it's all about. So Jennie, we are so grateful for you. I'll give you one last just moment to share any final thought, and we're gonna get out of here in about a minute.
I want to thank you guys. First of all, I had no idea I was the first special bonus episode that you guys were ever doing. So thank you. That's like huge for me. Huge. Thank you. And the reason why we have connected so well is because we are so aligned in all of those things. That's why I jumped in with contact mapping as soon as I knew what you guys were doing and how you were supporting the industry, because I was like, this is exactly what I've been looking for 5 years. My clients asked me for it, and I was like, this is a no-brainer. You guys walk the talk, and I love contact mapping, and I love you guys so much. Thank you. I love the text messages that I get from both of you. Love it.
We love you. So everybody, Jennie Bellinger, this thing will be up for you. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Facebook. You got to watch this show. Bring your people in, but more importantly, get your ticket, contactmapping.com/Jennie. Spell it right. We'll see you later. Thanks a million. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Jennie. See ya.